everybody, and welcome to another episode of Smart Guys. And today we're talking cameras. You could be looking to upgrade from your smartphone, or you could be going for a wedding, a party, and you need something that looks a little bit more professional than your smartphone. Well, this is what we're talking about today. We are looking at DSLR cameras, and I guess the question is, are DSLR cameras any better than our phones? Because these days, let's admit, phones have got good cameras on them. Phones are taking excellent pictures. And I guess the only reason you would consider buying a DSLR is the ability to be able to be quite creative with your photography. You can change settings on here to allow the camera to capture the image how you really want it to be captured. And again, an example is a waterfall. For example, if you just took a picture of that waterfall at the fastest shutter speed, you're likely to just get a static picture of water. But if you slow down the shutter speed, then the water will look like it's flowing, which makes your picture look even better. And what we'll do at the end of this little video is to compare images taken by this one here, which is my semi-pro camera, versus this one right here, which is my entry-level camera, and we'll see whether the image quality is worth the price tag that this one comes at versus what this one is priced at. So let's just quickly get familiar with our cameras right here. At the very end here, we've got our beginner level. This is what you call your beginner level camera, which is the Canon 1300D. There are others. There's a 2000D. There's lots of different other variations of this entry level, beginner level camera. This you'll probably get it for about 250 to 300 pounds, 350 pounds, depending on where you buy it. The second-hand market has got loads of these. So this is where you would start if you're going into photography and trying to get serious with your photography. This one right here in the middle is something that you would upgrade from this entry level camera. And what makes this better than this camera? It has a little bit more features that this one doesn't have. And we're not delving into features today, as we are looking at it purely from a consumer level. When you buy a camera, you want it to take great pictures. And so we're looking at more what pictures do they take rather than what features do they have. But I guess some of the things that this one might have versus that one is things like a flip out screen, which helps you to take pictures at a very low level. You can bring it down there, look from the top, it helps. Whereas that one has got a static screen. The screen doesn't move. So if you had to take a picture lower down, you would have to go down with the camera. It can be very inconvenient. So those are some of the differences that you will find with these two cameras. I mean, there are more setting differences within the menu system itself and so forth and so on. But, you know, aesthetically, looking at it from the outside, they look exactly the same. They look exactly the same. So that's our, I guess, our upgrade from our entry-level camera right there, the 600D. And then coming to this one here, the 80D. This is our 80D semi-pro camera, which again has more features than this too. We are now starting to go into semi-pro. You can use this for pro as well. I've done some pro shoots with this camera. It still works for me. This is the 80D. There's the 90D that's out already. So there is actually an upgrade to this camera. But this 80D still takes brilliant pictures. It's a workhorse. What this camera gives you is the ability to point at where you want it to focus. The focus is very intuitive and works with you very well. So this is why I like this camera, especially for video work. It's really good. You never lose focus of your subject. So yeah, we're now going into semi-pro type cameras, and this camera will cost you around 800 for the body alone, which you can get for less on the used market. And I've coupled it or paired it with this Sigma 1835, which is a fantastic and phenomenal lens. Works very well with this camera. It's a fast lens, opens up really wide to take in more light. It's good for video, good for photography. And this lens will cost you another 600 pounds. So together, these two, we are looking at about 1,400 pounds. And these prices are more retail that I'm giving you. You can get it for less, as I said, on the used market. So these are our three cameras today. And we're going to go out with those three cameras, take some pictures, come back on our laptop and compare to see whether there's any difference in the quality. So what we're going to do, which is very interesting, is we're going to take some pictures using our smartphone as well, which will compare to the images that we're going to take with this entry-level camera and this semi-pro camera. Compare to see whether our smartphone, rivals these DSLRs, or it might be even better than the DSLRs. So that's what we're going to do as well today. It's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to try this one first. I've just left it on the automatic settings so that if you're getting this camera for the first time, you don't have to kind of mess around with the manual settings. So I've just left it on automatic settings. So I'm going to leave them all on automatic for now and just take a series of pictures. So now I've moved on to the 80D, so I'm taking a picture with 80D with our big 18 to 35 lens. So I'm just going to I decided to use all automatic settings today. So the camera is choosing what settings it thinks are the best to take that image. Normally I work in the manual mode, so it's turn it there to the M. I work in manual mode, and that allows me to change things like my shutter speed, my aperture, and also my ISO. It gives me that flexibility to be able to change those. So So as you can see, the cameras, all three of them performed really well. I was amazed at the level of detail that the smartphone was able to capture as well. And even the entry-level DSLR did super well with capturing quite good detail and the background blur as well. The semi-pro camera does well in both detail and the background blur because of the lens that I used as well on that. It's a good lens, opens really wide and blurs those backgrounds really well. So overall, what I can conclude is that it really doesn't matter which camera you use, you will still get great pictures. There will be differences in the pictures and it depends on what you're looking for. I preferred the semi-pro pictures because again the level of detail was really good and it allowed me to have that blurriness in the back, which just enhances pictures the way I like them. The 1300D did a super job. For an entry-level camera, I think it takes great pictures. So again, if you're starting out, that's the best one to buy and start. It's really quite a good beginner camera. As for the smartphone, I'm really glad that it takes beautiful pictures like the ones we saw. The only thing for me is that it takes very flat pictures. It actually does all the work for you within the phone itself. But I would struggle to take my smartphone as a serious photography camera, which again, I know some people would definitely argue with. So I do hope this has been super useful for you. in some way, hit me with some comments down below. Please subscribe, help us to push the channel forward. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.